Luck is the residue of design. That's a quote by Branch Rickey, who was the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, the LA Dodgers. And I always liked it because it explains why sometimes the ball seems to bounce for the other team. Luck is the residue of design. Maybe there's a way that some teams are designed. The way the owner picks the front office, the way the front office picks the coach or manager, the way they coach, the players they pick, the way the players think. Maybe there's something there in the design that we see as luck that they know is something different. Luck is the residue of design. Let's take that quote backwards. Design is the stuff of luck? I mean, design is a pretty deliberate word. You don't think about design and luck. I mean, we design a plan, we design a building. You don't want any luck in that. I think design is key because I think you can design several things that can lead you to something. Design is the stuff of luck. Design is the stuff of creativity. I think you can design the way you work and even some ways the way you think to be more creative. And that's what I want to explore today. I make videos for Microsoft Office. I did them a little differently with humor, with some props, and people always said, Doug, where do you get your ideas from? And I didn't really know. So I started researching it because one, I wanted to know. Two, I saw a lot of material out there about creativity and brain science, they call it. And the other thing was I wanted to get better at it. I mean, I didn't feel I was in the video business necessarily. I was in the creative business because I had a schedule I had to keep. I couldn't just come up with videos when the moment hit. I had to do it regularly. So I wanted to get better at it. The thing is here, we're trying to stay away from the eureka moment, that moment everyone has of like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. And often it is, and we act on it, it works really well, and we wonder when the next one's going to come. I don't think I have any more or less eureka moments than you. So I had to get better at being creative, so I didn't have to depend upon the eureka moments, and that's where the cows come in. I mean, probably the reason you're watching this is creative cows. What is that? So it comes from Gordon McKenzie. He wrote about his time at Hallmark. He worked there and talked about creativity in the corporate workplace. And he wrote a great book with a terrific title. It's called Orbiting the Giant Hairball. And he plots out creativity on a line. And he says there's a certain part of that line that you can measure creativity, but the bulk of it is invisible. It can't be tracked. And his example is cows. Cows make milk and we take them to the dairy and we measure exactly how much milk they give. But how's the milk made? I mean, what do? They go to pasture. I mean, we don't even think about it, right? If we go by and we see cows in the field, maybe we put down the window and we say moo to the cows. We don't even think that's a genius at work, Gordon McKenzie says. I mean, they eat grass that turns into milk we feed our kids. It's a miracle. And we don't even think about it. It's because they have that time at pasture to be creative, to make the milk. The same thing is happening with creativity. There's a measurable part of creativity. For an artist, it's the painting. For a musician, it's the songs. Maybe for me, it's the videos. For you, it's the work that comes out. There's a measurable part of it. But that other part can't be measured. It can't be filled up with stuff either. It can't have just meetings and busy work and all that. You have to find time to be in a creative state to get better creativity. John Cleese, who's brilliant, he's from Monty Python and an actor, writer. He worked with creativity in marketplaces and you can find some old YouTube videos of his, and he put it this way. He said, if you get in the right mood, then your mode of thinking will become more creative. But if you're just rushing about all day, checking things off a list, looking at your watch, keeping all the balls in the air, you're not going to have any creative thoughts. Any creative thoughts. So you have to find time to be creative. More importantly, if you manage a creative team, you have to make sure that they have time to think and be at pasture to be creative. Otherwise, the ideas are going to go dry. You can't keep a cow at a dairy 24/7. So, what do you need? I think you need time and you need space. Now, time can be different for different people. Maybe you have time in the afternoon that you have downtime, you call it. Maybe it's before you get into work early and you have some time. Now my job had to deal with being creative, so I actually scheduled time myself. I actually put an appointment on the calendar, and it wasn't a reoccurring appointment. I don't think reoccurring appointments, you put down every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to go jogging, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have lunch. I don't think those work, because after a while you stop looking at them. I think you put something on the calendar that's not regular, maybe 10 o'clock here on Monday, or pick another time during the week, and you work about being creative. And you find a place for that. Now, a place, you might know your best place for thinking already. The front porch, sitting on the couch. For me, my place is actually outside taking a walk. And you have to do one thing, though, for the walk to be beneficial. You have to unplug. Matt Ritchell is a Pulitzer Prize-winning author for the New York Times, wrote a series of articles about the distracted brain. And it was mostly about texting and driving, but there was other science there that he's had articles on. And one of them was how the brain works and how the brain also needs downtime. In fact, one of the things about taking a walk is that you don't even have to enjoy the walk for your brain to get the benefits, which, living in the Pacific Northwest 6 months out of the year, that's great, because a lot of times it's not really pleasant out to take a walk. But your brain can have benefits because it needs that downtime. But there's that thing about unplugging. Now, this is a scenario I'm sure I know I've done in the past. It probably sounds familiar to you in a lot of ways. You get up in the morning, maybe go work out, and you get on a playlist that has better music and you work out better. Then you go to work on a computer for a couple hours. Lunch break, catch up with social media on your phone. Go back to the computer for a few hours, and then when you're going home, maybe you're waiting for a bus, you want to feel better, had a hard day, so you play a video game for a few minutes on a phone waiting for the bus, or on the bus you're doing that, listening to music. And then go home after dinner, you go, Xbox or some video game for a couple hours and do one of those games with your friends online. It's an average scenario for a lot of folks. The thing is, the science shows that you're not allowing your brain to have downtime. And downtime's important for creative thought. Now, I've had good jobs where I keep all the balls in the air. I'm not saying that's bad. What I'm saying, if you're trying to be creative, you need to be able to find that time and space to be creative. You need to have that downtime for your brain. And plugging in all the time. Now, the science also shows that if you put on a playlist that is better music that you really like, you work out stronger. You work out better. If you that video game you play at the bus stop for 10 minutes makes you feel better. But there's a balance, right? That what are you trying to do? The way that I look at it is, well, I need to come up with ideas. I need to come up with more creative things. So I bought into this. I ditched the MP3 player. I love music. But I thought, I'm in the creative business. I need to come up with these ideas more often. My job depends on it. So that's why I started working on these things, and it worked for me. And I saw the stats about how it worked for others. So you need to, that's one of the sciences of doing that downtime. It's funny, my kids used to say to me, Dad, I'm bored, and I would say, go clean your room. Now I say, oh, you're bored? That's good. That's actually great for your brain. Go continue being bored. You'll have better ideas later. Worked a little bit. But again, that downtime is important. And think of it this way. Where's one of the places you have ideas? A lot of people will say the shower. Part of the reason that is because we really don't think about taking a shower. We don't think about, okay, now let's see, here's how I soap myself up, and here's how much shampoo. We don't think about that. We just shower. And that allows the brain in some ways to have that downtime because it's not really thinking about what you're doing. It has other places it can go. And that's why that's one of the reasons that ideas come to you in the shower. Julia Cameron came up with a book that was really a movement a couple decades ago called The Artist Way. It had several things, but the one that people usually remember the most about it, and I know I do, was you need to get up every morning and write longhand 2 pages every day. And a lot of my pages started this way. Here I am up early. I'm going to have to write 2 pages. Golly, what am I going to write 2 pages about? Here I am writing pages. That's what it was. Now, the thing was those pages didn't become the creative thoughts. What the process was this was a brain dump, getting all that gunk out so you could fill up with fresh ideas during the day. It's another concept of that trying to be at pasture. And that's another tool you could use. I mean, David Lynch, the film director, put it this way. He said, ideas are fishes. They can't be made, they can only be caught. Well, I was in the creation business, so I wanted to catch as many fish as possible. So with that time and space, how can you think creatively? Let me give you a couple tools to think about things. One is analogies. I love analogies. In fact, one of the first reasons that I really saw this work in the line I was in video. I was tasked early on with doing a video on the ribbon. The ribbon was new in Office several years ago. It replaced all the pull-down menus, and there was a lot of them. And a lot of people didn't like the fact that we replaced it with the ribbon, which has been around for over a decade now. And so my manager said, well, do something on the ribbon. And I thought, wow. And I looked at it and I did research, and there was a ton of video already out on the ribbon. And there was a lot of science behind it of why we changed, and a lot of customer voice of why that change was made. And I was like, golly, I can't think of anything creative. I can't think of anything different that I haven't seen already. But one thought did hit me. I thought, well, the ribbon, what's a ribbon in real life? The ribbon is a decorative thing. This isn't decorative. We didn't make the ribbon to make it prettier. We made the ribbon to be more productive so you could get work done. So that kind of sat with me for a while, but I couldn't think of anything. And then one day, and it was a eureka moment, I was looking for a pen or a paperclip or something, and I thought, I knew where it was. I reached in for my desk caddy and I found it. And that's why I realized the ribbon isn't a ribbon. The ribbon's a desk caddy. It's where your stuff is. It's you can find it. And in fact, the ribbon has many different desk caddies, one for each tab. And boy, I could have made the video right away. I mean, it was just the ideas hit me, and I understood how to talk about the ribbon a little differently. So analogies can be powerful, but here's the thing: if you have a new project coming up, or a new task, a new event, a new experience, I want you to think about it in an analogy, but you can't use any analogies from the field that you're in. So let's say you're in the restaurant business. If you have a new cuisine coming out, I want you to explain that without explaining anything to deal with food or restaurants. Find analogies in other parts of the world. It could be hobbies that you have, gardening. It could be weather terms. It could be sports. Think about it in a different way to explain it to somebody else who's not on your team or on your in your work, who understands the particular vernacular. Think of it differently. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be like the great marketing moment. What I'm saying is it's going to allow you to think of a complete idea differently that will allow you to come back to it with different thoughts, more creative thoughts, because you're trying to explain it differently. And I think the analogies really work. I mean, a couple others that we've worked on here. One, Access is a program in Office. It's a database system. And the way I thought about it was, if you open up an egg carton, there's 2 sides. One has 12 slots for the eggs. One is blank, kind of the cover area. Outlook is kind of like the one with the 12 things. You have a particular piece of information, you put it in a particular slot. Here goes your email, here's where your phone is, here's where your address is, so to speak. Access is like the other side, which is kind of cool and kind of scary. It's totally blank. You can make up your own configurations. We have templates you can snap in to start off, and then you can break those apart and do whatever you want to. So Access is an egg carton. Another one is bitmaps. Bitmap is like JPEGs and other photo forms, but it's kind of tricky. And someone says bitmaps are like tattoos. When they go on, they're great looking, but if you try to stretch it or shrink it or something like that, it starts looking poor really quickly. So that's why other people use other forms of pictures like JPEGs or PNGs instead of bitmaps if they have to manipulate them. So analogies are really powerful bits that you can use. Another one you can use is anger. Now, I'm not saying being an angry person, I don't like working with pissed off people. I hope I'm a nice person at work. I want you to be a nice person. But think of things that make you angry about work. I mean, if you're just watching this, you can probably, on the side of your paper or on a note on the screen, you can probably just start writing 2 or 3 things that you really can't stand about your job. Now, whoa, can't be about people. You can't wish somebody was just gone, because that's wrong and probably evil. But 3 things that you think are terrible about your job or your company or what they're doing, write those down, put them away. Maybe a week from now, if you're doing another part of this webathon and you're going over your notes, think about one and think about something you can do with it. Now, this I know works because this is how I'm talking to you today. When I came to Microsoft, I wasn't in video business. I was in another team. I wasn't even dealing with content. And I didn't have this great idea of, wow, I should make these videos and they'll be really fun and people will like them and it'll be a great job I can make for myself. Didn't think of any of that. I got here because I was pissed off. I had heard that we were going to put, for the first time, video on our homepage, office.com. And it was a video about this thing called Office Live Workspace, which is what OneDrive became. And I did not like this ad. And I don't know why I hated it so much. It might have been the fact that this little animated cloud followed around this guy as he walked around to coffee shops and work and all that. It could have been the fact he wore a sweater vest, or maybe the fact he had really great hair. I hated it. And I thought, no, we should find real people in real offices and make videos of how they really use our products. That's what we should be doing. So I got together a script and I put it on Post-it notes. And I filmed it with my webcam at my desk. And I thought, here's how I work with Office Live Workspace. And now, I didn't send that off to the entire company. I didn't blast it. I didn't even send it to my team. I sent it to a couple people I trusted at work. And if your manager is one of those, that's great. So I sent it to 2-3 people, and I thought, what do you think about this? I think we should be doing videos this way. And actually, I went away, I think, for a vacation for a week. And when I came back, they were like, we like your video. We want to put your video on office.com. And like, no, that's a sample video. We should find real people in real offices. Face made for radio. Don't. Like, well, we'll get to that, but let's put you on the cover. So I redid the video. It did really well for getting signups for Office Live Workspace. And weeks later, they wanted a second video. And 6 months later, I was on the content team doing videos full time because I got pissed off at something. Look, there's a couple things that have high passion, right? Love, hate. Love, hate. We want to get doing the things we love. But too often, I think, we are not doing things we love or we hate. We're just doing our job. We're in this pool of ambivalence. We'd like to get back doing the things we love, but I'm saying maybe I have to try the dark side. It can get ideas going. So write down 3 things. Put it away, come back a week later, see which one you want to do something on. Write up a paper, an email, make a video. And send it out to a couple of people you trust and see if there's ideas that you can go on there. So this is just some of the things that I think can help you think better and be better. I coached kids soccer, little kids, 5, 6, 7, mostly girls, for years and loved it. It was great. I mean, my kid was on the team, but I went back and did it after my kid was a different age group. And it was fun. But one thing I noticed was a lot of kids didn't want to take a shot. They'd run up and down the field, but when it came time to get the shot, they wouldn't do it. They would pass it off. And I talked to a few coaches, and I did some reading about it, and talked to some parents, and talked to the kids. And I realized they're just afraid because the ball may not go in the goal. They'll miss. They'll miss the goal completely. Or they know there's somebody else on the team that's better than them, so they'll get the ball to them and let them do it. And I said, okay, so now I know this isn't true for soccer in general, but for this age it is. I said, look, soccer's all about taking shots on goal. The more shots you take on goal, the more goals you score. The more goals you score, the more chance you have of winning. Soccer's not just about running up and down the field. So we practice this, about taking shots on goal, because sometimes you miss. Sometimes you score. Sometimes the goalie gets it. Sometimes it's deflected. Sometimes a player intercepts the pass. But other things happen when you take shots on goal. Strange things happen. The ball can bounce off the crossbar, come back out. The goalie hits it, and it goes in different directions. It glances off a player's thigh and goes in different directions. Things happen when you take shots on goal. This is where I think kids' sports and business is the same. I think business is about taking shots on goal. I think too many people just run up and down the field all day. I think taking shots on goal can make your business better. I think it can make your job better by doing these things and some of these tools that we have to be more creative in taking shots on goal in business. Now those kids, man, when it happened, I mean, if they were ready for it and they followed up the shot, they would take a shot and it would glance off the goalie's hand and spin funny and land right at their feet. And they were there and they could just tap it in for the easiest goal possible. And they feel great. They run back to the center line because they want to do it again. They want to take another shot on goal. And as they're being congratulated, they're feeling good about how they've thought about this and how it's worked, and they've scored a goal. All the meantime, the other team is just thinking, boy, is that kid lucky. I'm Doug Thomas. I make videos for Microsoft Office. I'm very, very happy to be part of this webathon for Vickie. All the best to her and to you.